First, we are very, very happy to be here after 4 years to meet our clients again. What do we show this time? We see that more and more electric buses are coming on the road, and we would like to focus more on other components beside articulation systems and bellows, which is our core business, where we believe we have an advantage in new products for electric buses. Especially if we see hydropneumatic systems coming up. Hydropneumatic systems have a good future in electric buses because we can get rid of the air suspension in the future, which will save us energy because they are much more efficient than the air suspension systems. As you can see here, we have 2 generations of these hydropneumatic systems here on the booth. Number 1 is still available right now. We can implement it tomorrow. And we see a lot of interest from the truck industry coming up on this. And another generation, which should be available in 3 years, is the next step after what is available right now, which will make us much more independent. So I can show it to you if you like a little bit later directly at the booth. Another point where we focus on is now on safety. We see the demand on safety is growing immediately, especially on the development of electronic systems. One is to fulfill the ISO standard 26262, which is mandatory from our perspective for products, and where we have to focus on cybersecurity in our products now. As you know, articulated buses are still our core business, and we are also in 12-meter buses with products like our lifts and ramps and with our sealing systems. Now with the new hydropneumatic systems, we focus more and more on the buses and on the truck industry. So this will be our focus in the upcoming years. Coming back to hydropneumatic systems, it's also focused on lightweight, because by this system you can remove a lot of parts out of your chassis, so you will save a lot of energy and you will save a lot of weight in the new vehicle. Yeah, we also focus at the moment on lightweight projects. We see that weight is becoming more and more important, especially if you see the electric buses coming up. This is something where we believe that the next generation can save some weight and where we can also reduce where we can increase the energy efficiency of electric buses by reducing our weight dramatically. Another point is we see that the material we use for bellows will have more and more focus on fire retardants. We see this coming up here in Europe, and we believe that in other markets it will also become very important. The Indian market is becoming more and more interesting for us. We are in the Indian market with an own site since roughly 10 years. At the beginning, the focus was on the railway industry, and we see now that the bus market will become more interesting for us. The first projects with articulated buses are still coming up, and we have new relations where we focus on the truck industry, especially with the suspension systems I mentioned before. Usually our focus is that our supply chain is close to our production site. And this is the same in India. As more as we produce there, as more supplies should be in the near of our production site. For the engineering, it depends. We have some engineering departments which will stay with us in Kassel because it makes no sense to move them around the world. But especially if we think about developments for the customer need to adapt maybe a product in the market, this is be done by engineers locally. So we have also engineers already in India for the railway industry, and if the bus market will become stronger, we also place engineers in India. We believe that the Indian market is now implemented electric buses much faster than other countries did in the past. We know we have a long time until it came onto the market, and now we see a fast change in India, let's say from basic products to high sophisticated products. And there we believe that our products will, on a high level of technology, can support this change in the products in India. The idea is that we have a close relation to our markets, which means we stay in a market which we would like to support. This was also the reason why we decided a couple of years ago to India. Even if it was not growing at this time for us, today we see that this strategy was important for us. And this is what we already did in other markets like North America, like China, that we went very early in the market to be there before the market was going up.